Hi everyone, this is documentary of crime. So don't waste the time. Let's go to the today's video.
Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another real story with you. This story is from May 22nd, 2019. On a highway, a man was passing by when he suddenly noticed something shocking. A young girl was running on the road. She wasn't just running, she was stumbling and barely able to walk. What pulled his attention instantly was that she had no clothes on her body. She was crying, pleading for help, completely vulnerable. The man quickly took out his phone and called the police. Within a short time, a police team arrived at the scene. When they reached, the girl was almost unconscious, exhausted, and unable to even stand properly. One of the officers immediately rushed to the patrol car, pulled out a sheet and carefully wrapped it around her to cover her body. They tried to comfort her, assuring her that she was safe now. That moment showed both the horror of what she had gone through and the humanity of those who tried to help her. Blood was also dripping from the girl's body. The police immediately rushed her to the hospital. After she was admitted, the doctors began treatment and made a horrifying discovery. Inside her private parts were fragments of broken light bulbs and pieces of syringes. Her body was covered in marks and wounds, evidence of brutal assault. For a while, her condition was critical, but after some time, she regained consciousness. Thankfully, she was out of danger. As soon as she was stable, the police began questioning her, trying to understand what had really happened. The girl then revealed a shocking story. She told the officers that back in February 2019, she had met a man. At that time, she was living in a girls' hostel and working at a private company. This man had approached her, presenting himself as someone who helped people in need. He claimed he was connected with a human rights organization, earning her trust by posing as a person who stood for justice and compassion. What seemed like a chance encounter had turned into a nightmare that changed her life forever. During this time, the girl grew close to that man and even developed a sense of friendship with him. One day, he told her that he needed 45k rupees to help someone in need. Believing he was a good-hearted person who cared for others, the girl didn't hesitate. She thought he was genuine, someone who worked for the welfare of people. Out of trust, she gave him the money. But as time passed, the girl herself fell into financial difficulty and asked him to return her money. To her shock, he kept making excuses. Each time she called, he avoided the topic, and eventually he stopped picking up her calls altogether. Since they were close, the girl also knew his house and had visited before. So on the night of May 22nd, 2019, around 9:10 p.m., she went to his home to confront him. The moment she entered, something terrible happened. Suddenly, someone struck her hard on the back of her head. After that, everything went dark. When she regained consciousness, she found herself locked inside a room. To her horror, 3 men were inside with her. They were burning her skin with cigarettes, torturing her, and subjecting her to unspeakable abuse. Then, she revealed through tears, they raped her. That night turned her trust into betrayal and her life into a nightmare. What she thought was friendship had led her straight into a trap. After enduring such unbearable pain and torture, the girl eventually lost consciousness. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself lying by the side of a road. Gathering what little strength she had, she struggled out of the bushes and somehow managed to drag herself up to the highway. She waved frantically, trying to stop passing vehicles. Car after car slowed down. Drivers looked at her, but then they simply drove away without helping. In that moment, she felt completely abandoned, broken, bleeding, and desperate for even a little kindness. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, a kind-hearted stranger stopped. Seeing her condition, he immediately realized something terrible had happened. Without wasting a second, he called the police. Soon after, the police team arrived and took her into their care. This was the statement the girl gave to the authorities. Her ordeal was not just physical torture, but also deep mental trauma. Because of the shocking nature of the case, the district police treated it with the utmost seriousness. It was clear that this was not just another crime. This was a brutal injustice against a young woman, something that demanded urgent action and justice. The police then officially recorded the girl's statement. Afterward, they arranged for her medical examination to collect evidence. Based on the locations she described, where she had been taken and later thrown out, the police dispatched teams to those exact spots. They thoroughly checked all available CCTV footage to trace her movements and identify suspects. The girl explained that in the room where she was tortured, there had been 3 men, but she also revealed 2 more names, making it a total of 5 suspects. Shockingly, she identified one of them as a doctor and another as a constable in the police. With this testimony, the police swung into action. 3 accused were tracked down and arrested, but during the investigation, another disturbing fact came to light. The constable had already been jailed earlier for raping the very same girl. Now he was once again accused in this brutal crime. The police immediately added fresh charges against him and sent him back to jail. The remaining suspects were interrogated. They all insisted they were innocent, claiming that they were being falsely framed and had nothing to do with the incident. Yet, the evidence and the girl's statement painted a very different picture. This case exposed not only shocking betrayal, but also the involvement of people who were supposed to protect and serve, making it all the more horrifying. The brutality the girl suffered was not just another crime, it was a deep scar on humanity itself. The police then began checking the suspects' mobile phones, their call records, and CCTV footage. Step by step, the investigation moved forward, but now the pressure was growing. News of the case had already reached the media, and the police were under intense scrutiny to solve it quickly and ensure the culprits were punished. Meanwhile, the girl's condition improved, and she was discharged from the hospital. Based on her statements, the police continued to interrogate the arrested suspects, but nothing concrete was coming out. A big question remained unanswered. How was it that a doctor, a policeman, and even a so-called human rights activist, all from completely different walks of life, had come together and committed such a horrific crime against one girl? What was the connection binding them? The girl had clearly stated that on the night of the incident she had gone to the accused man's house, accompanied by his driver. When the police questioned the driver, he confirmed her account, admitting that he had indeed dropped her at that very house. Later, the girl also revealed that she had gone to the same man's house the night before the attack, again to ask for her money. That time too, she had traveled with the driver. When the police called him in once more, he again confirmed her statement. He had dropped her near the suspect's house the previous night as well. This strengthened her testimony, giving the police a clearer timeline of events and making it harder for the accused to deny their involvement. While the police investigation was underway, the girl's medical report also arrived. When the police examined it, they found something unusual. According to the doctor, there were no life-threatening injuries on her body, only minor wounds. But at the same time, the report confirmed a disturbing fact. There were indeed pieces of broken bulb lodged inside her private parts. This was something no one could possibly do to themselves. Yet, when compared with the girl's statement and the story she had told, the medical report left the police puzzled. Something about it didn't fully add up, and investigators felt compelled to dig even deeper. Meanwhile, all the images, call records, and mobile data collected were being analyzed by multiple police teams. Several units were working on the case simultaneously, piecing together evidence from different angles to find the truth. During this process, they discovered that one of the 5 accused was not even present at his house on the night of the incident. He had gone away on work. This contradiction raised new questions. Finally, when the technical evidence, phones, locations, and digital traces came together, a completely new story began to unfold. And when the police heard it, even they were left stunned. The police admitted that they had never seen a case like this in their entire careers. First, they checked the girl's mobile phone records, since her phone itself had gone missing. She had earlier told them that when she entered the suspect's house, her phone was no longer with her. But when investigators dug deeper into the records, they discovered something surprising. The phone had actually been in the possession of her real sister since the evening before the incident. Next, the police once again summoned the driver who had supposedly dropped the girl near the activist's house. At first, he repeated his earlier statement that he had picked her up from her girls' hostel and dropped her right outside the human rights activist's home. But when he was questioned again in detail, his account changed. He said that while they were driving, the girl kept asking him to take different turns, saying she might have forgotten the exact location or left something behind. After a while, the driver grew frustrated, telling her she was wasting his time and fuel. Eventually, she told him to drop her off before reaching the house. According to the driver, she never actually went all the way to that house. This contradiction shook the investigators, because if she hadn't gone inside that night, then the story she had given earlier couldn't be entirely true. The police found this very strange. Just a day earlier, the girl herself had said in her statement that she went with the driver to that very same house. So why, on the night of the incident, would she suddenly act as if she didn't know the exact address? If she was really that close to the man, how could she keep forgetting his house? This was the first doubt that entered the investigators' minds against the girl's version of events. The second doubt came from her claim that her phone had gone missing. If that was true, then how did her mobile end up safely at her sister's house? When the sister was questioned, another twist emerged. She admitted that one of her sister's friends had come and handed her the phone, saying, "Your sister told me to give you this." She instructed that it must remain switched off at all times. Now the police had two troubling pieces of evidence. The phone wasn't lost, it had been deliberately given away, with instructions to keep it off. To dig deeper, the investigators re-examined the CCTV footage. What they saw shocked them. At around 9:10 p.m., just about 20 minutes after she claimed to have reached the activist's house, the cameras captured the girl walking nearby. But her appearance was bizarre. Her body was wrapped in polythene, her face was smeared with some kind of white substance, and tape was stuck over it. Even stranger, she was pacing around, moving her legs oddly and looking around in all directions as if acting out something. When the CCTV footage was carefully reviewed, it became clear that the person in the video was indeed the same girl who had accused those men of assault. This left the police baffled. Why would she be walking around in such a strange manner if her story was true? Later, the investigators went back to her official statement. In her deposition, she had said that when she regained consciousness at 11:30 p.m., she found herself locked inside a room. But when the police compared this with the actual timeline and checked the CCTV cameras at that hour, the truth didn't match. The footage revealed that at the very time she claimed she was being held captive, she was actually inside her girls' hostel. Meanwhile, one of the accused had already been in jail at that time. Another suspect couldn't even be located, and the other's mobile phone data placed them in different cities that night. Their locations clearly showed that they were not together, let alone at the scene she described. This raised a major contradiction. While the girl insisted the crime had taken place at a specific time and place, the technical evidence proved that neither she nor the accused were where her story claimed. The police now had a serious doubt in their minds. The girl had accused these men, but every statement she had given so far was falling apart. The people she claimed had assaulted her were, in fact, not even present at the places or times she described. So the police decided to investigate each accused individually. When questioned, one of them explained, "Firstly, they investigate Constable, and he said that they met in 2017, and they became friends. And after that, that girl told me, 'Let's get married.' I had told her clearly that I wasn't ready for marriage yet. I wanted to focus on my career, but when I refused, she began threatening me. And when I didn't give in to her threats, one day she went to the police and falsely accused me of rape. At that time, the case wasn't very strong and the court granted me bail. The girl, however, had written in her statement that even though the constable wasn't physically there that night, the others acted on his instructions. Next, the police questioned the doctor. He said, "Back in 2018, I was working at the hospital. This girl fell sick and came in for treatment. By chance, my duty was assigned to her hostel, so I was the one treating her. Like any doctor, I gave her my phone number for follow-ups or emergencies. After she was discharged, she kept calling me, but not for medical reasons. She would talk about random things that had nothing to do with treatment. At first, I answered politely, but soon I realized she was just wasting my time. So, eventually, I started ignoring her calls. All these revelations left the police with a troubling picture. The accusations weren't lining up with facts, timelines, or the suspect's testimonies. When the police compared the girl's statements with the CCTV footage and mobile location records, the contradictions became undeniable. They sat her down and confronted her directly. "Look, your medical report doesn't show any signs of... There's nothing in it that confirms what you've alleged. The injuries on your body appear self-inflicted. Minor wounds that anyone could bear, not the kind of deep injuries that would result from a violent attack. These marks don't match the story you've been telling." Faced with this, the girl finally broke down and confessed. She admitted, "When I filed a case against the constable earlier, it wasn't strong enough. He got bail and walked free. I wanted revenge. I asked many people for help, but no one supported me. So I thought, if the old case could entrap him, I would create a bigger one, something that would surely send him to jail for a long time." She went on to explain her reasoning. "I've seen how, in cases like this, there is enormous pressure on the police. The media covers it widely, the public gets angry, and everyone turns against the accused men. So I decided to frame the constable in such a case. The human rights activist was never really involved. He had never even taken money from me. I only used him as a bridge to get closer to the constable and through him to the doctor as well. As for the other man, I thought he was passing on everything I said to the constable, so I added his name too." Her confession stunned the police. What had first appeared to be a horrific case of torture and assault was now unraveling into something far more twisted. A deliberately fabricated plot of revenge. The girl confessed further, saying, "For 2 or 3 days I kept wandering near the house of the man I had falsely accused, watching closely how things worked there. Then I deliberately switched off my phone and gave it to my sister, so no one would be able to track my real location. I only kept the driver with me so that later he could testify that I had truly been with him." She continued, "After roaming around like that, I went back on my own. I injured myself deliberately, then wrapped my body in plastic, covered my face with cloth, and went to the side of the highway. I lay down near the bushes, pretending I had been dumped there. The wounds I made were enough to look convincing, so people would believe something terrible had actually happened to me. Once the whole story came out, the police released all the men they had arrested, but this case left behind a troubling reality. The fact remained that while nothing truly happened to this girl, there are countless women who really do suffer such horrors. And when someone makes false accusations like this, it doesn't just ruin innocent lives. It also silences the voices of real victims, making people doubt their pain and trauma. This is a deeply serious issue, one that should never be turned into a lie or a tool for revenge. False cases may seem like a way to settle scores in the moment, but the damage they cause is lasting. Those who have truly gone through such violence carry scars in their bodies and minds that never fade. To mock that pain by fabricating stories is to wound them all over again.
So this was today's story. I hope if you enjoyed the video. So like the video, subscribe channel and hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.